While Rob gets those slides up, I know we had some questions about CHAS data, so I did email my contact at HUD. And breaking news is that they're working on the 2012-16 data, and that should be out soon. However, the census is revising their disclosure rules, which will affect future CHAS releases. So that's my update. More to come. And if anybody doesn't, CHAS is comprehensive health. Soon. Yeah, sorry, it's late in the conference. It's harder. Well, Rob is getting is it Menti again? So get your phones out and ready for Menti.com. Oh, there we go. Do you need a microphone?
Yep. Okay, so we'll do fun closing icebreaker, and then we'll do a table discussion, and then we'll close with some poll questions and suggestions for next year, and any other thoughts that you have before you head to the airport and head home. So if you did this on Wednesday, then you might remember the process. If not, you can go to Menti.com and use the code 1384. Does that work? It seems too short. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to do our game. Just make sure you put in your name so you can get credit. And remember, you have to both get the correct answer, but you only win if you get it the fastest. Okay, here we go. So the question is, what type of brick is unique to the Milwaukee area? Is it burnt red brick, laptop power brick, Lego brick, or cream city brick? So 7 more seconds to get your answers in. And this time people know they're bricks. Nobody knows they're brewers, but they know they're bricks. So the correct answer is the cream city brick. So let's see who the winner is. Well, that just doesn't seem fair. All right, congratulations, Carrie. So this is it. These are the bricks, and because of them, Milwaukee has the nickname Cream City, which I only learned last week. Okay, now the important part. On a scale of 1 to 10, how awesome was the NNIP Milwaukee meeting? Ooh, tough crowd. Okay, well done, Milwaukee team. So now we're going to do the table discussion and report out. So for the next 5 minutes, you can discuss one of or all of these topics. So what was a lesson that you learned from one of the plenary sessions? What's something that you're going to reflect on from an unconference session? Or what takeaway did you get from one of our showcase presentations? So go ahead and spend the next 5 or so minutes discussing this over lunch at your table. If you don't have a lot of people at your table, please feel free to grab an empty chair and move around so that you can all get involved in the conversation. Okay, we have a few microphones that are gonna move around the room. If anyone would like to raise their hand and mention something that they talked about at their table that they want to share with the entire group, just go ahead and raise your hand and we'll bring the microphone around.
Lessons, thoughts? Nothing.
I'll share my lesson from the plenary was, I think, Seema's point about differentiating as we discuss it between residents who are advocating, for their neighborhood and professional advocacy issue-oriented organizations, both of which are really important. But as we talk about them, we should be clear and discuss those differently or separately. So there's my takeaway.
I'll do my takeaway to prompt you. My takeaway was Eli's conceptualization and background and context on the local media. That really, I think, will change how I frame thinking about social media as a partnership with local media. So, thank you for that tidbit. Totally reframed things for me.
One of the takeaways was Scott Whitehair's point about having an arsenal of stories in your toolbox and being able to use those for the context-specific situation you're in.
We all ended up talking about website redesigns and what we're having challenges with on our own platforms. And I think in the future, a whole session on how that is going would be awesome, because we're dealing with a lot of the same issues of constraints we live in inside a university system, or how to make our data accessible without 50 clicks, and a lot of the same issues were prompted by that.
There seemed to be some consensus at our table, just how complex finding out information about rentals is, and how limited the information available is, and vented about it for a while, and then started thinking about how we might try and gather that information.
Yeah, I got a lot out of the tour that I went on in the MLK, and it's gonna be something that I can bring back to the work that I'm doing in a specific community in Pittsburgh. But I just want to say thanks to the Milwaukee crew for being awesome hosts.
Okay, I have one more takeaway. And then I'll wrap it up. But on that same note, I wanted to say that I know people were talking with me about how prepared everyone who interacted with NNIP was to actually talk about what we do and why we're here on the tours. Everyone who introduced us or talked to us at the reception. And I know that went back to the Milwaukee team's preparation and showed how deep and just thoughtful those partnerships are, that people were able to really conceptualize our work here. And it is much appreciated. I know people have been talking about that. So again, another thank you.
Yeah. So thank you. I have a sort of related takeaway. I want to just offer some thanks, and I failed to do this at the reception, to the NNIP headquarters for making it. I mean, it's not an easy task to host, but they made it seem as easy as it possibly could be by keeping us on track. So really great attention to detail, and many thanks for that. And then just a tad of follow-up. I did thank the hotel staff, both the reception and the food, and what I got back from them was a report on how terrific you all are. They said you're one of their favorite groups they've had. So kudos to you, and thanks for coming.
Can we pick up on ourselves, or what? Anyone have anything on the unconferences? A good unconference session?
Any good camp?
No pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I think what the work in Philadelphia is what they're doing to really try to understand gentrification through this panel survey that they have. I think it can provide a lot of lessons for a lot of cities, and I know a lot of cities are participating with Philly in that. But what they're doing, if you haven't looked at the survey that they've developed, that they're going to pass out to 10,000 residents, you should, because I think we can take that back home to our communities too.
Any other great camp sessions?
the best camp session for me was the Census 2020. The amount of information in just 1 hour, even less, was enormous. Enormous. So I really thanks everybody that was there. Very precious.
Not a camp session, but I learned that if I tell a story a second time, I actually do it better. And that gave me, encouragement to do it more.
Excellent. Basics.
We have a few more questions to wrap up.
Okay.
So if you still have your mobile browser open, go ahead and navigate back, and if
Wait,
not,
Rob, there's one more.
okay.
Sorry. I was just going to say I appreciated the camp sessions on both where's the money and the airing of grievances. Sometimes the grievances are where the money might come from. But that was really informative to somebody who's new and trying to explore what it would look like in Memphis. And so I really appreciate how candid those conversations were. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Now, Rob.
Okay, just a few more to wrap up, and so that we make sure we collect all of your great thoughts. So if you could use one word to describe your experience this week, what one word would you use to report on it? Okay, some good choices. A few not so good choices, but mostly good choices. Yeah, I know that was you, Anthony. Okay, which of these things do you pledge to do once you get home? And keep in mind, this is a multiple choice. You can pick more than one. Okay, we'll find out if there's only one partner that's going to get followed up with here. So what city or cities are you going to reach out to? Who are you going to get in touch with after you get home? Okay, so Milwaukee, Charlotte, San Antonio. Be prepared. And lastly, suggest a session for the next meeting. What do you want to talk about the next time we all come together? Uh, 2020 is when it is. Okay, looks like most people have given some great suggestions. So we'll take these back to the executives and decide on next year's sessions. So if you have any webinar topic ideas as well, we'll incorporate these. Always you can reach out to any of the NNIPHQ staff, the nnip@urban.org email. And with that, I'll see if Kathy has any final thoughts. Leah has final thoughts.
So on the next meeting, we are still trying to work that out. We are still needing to do some fundraising for 2020. And hopefully we'll have more information as the fall rolls around for you on that. But as soon as we know, we'll let you know. And first of all, I have a number of thank yous to be doing. One, I'd like to thank NNIPHQ staff, if everybody could give them a round of applause. We certainly could not have done the meeting without all of you and your preparation and hard work and behind the scenes helping get us batteries for the microphones, etc. Thank you. Another big round of applause to Bill and Charlotte Ann for doing our video and live stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We've already said thank you to Data You Can Use, but it bears repeating. Thank you so much for being wonderful hosts in Milwaukee. I'd like to thank the executive committee for all of their help in planning this agenda and helping us pay attention to people in the room and make sure everybody's integrated into the meeting. Thank you, executive committee. And then a big thanks to all of you who took time out of your very busy lives and the local work that's so important to come and share and learn from all. Thank you.